hello everybody and happy Saturday to you. I'm meteorologist Ashley Smith, and of course we are going to be talking about snow on the way. A winter storm headed our way here in the tri-state, and not only are we talking about some accumulating snow, we're talking about some major impacts from this accumulating snow. So looks like a pretty big deal across the area. And even if we get kind of on the low end of these snowfall totals, it's still going to be significant. So, you know, we oftentimes kind of talk about the impacts across the area, what this is going to do to us, what this is going to do as far as the roads, my plans, how much are they going to be slowed down, any traveling, school, work, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to talk about that because I do think that this is a high impact event. Just about anything that you may be having planned in the next couple of days, especially Sunday, Monday, will be impacted. And especially from about Sunday at noon until Monday at noon, I think that's kind of the crucial 24-hour window where we could see the biggest impact. So we're going to dive right into it. I kind of want to, hold on one second. I wanted to take a look outside. If Levy Cam doesn't work here, let's look at this. So this is what it looks like outside right now from our tower camera there in South Fairmount, looking toward downtown. Actually a nice day. It's cold though. 19 degrees is the actual temperature. The wind chill is even lower than that. So a very cold day. And it's going to remain cold all day today. Even by this afternoon, we're not looking at a very big warm up. Okay, so let's talk about oh, this is wrong. Dang it. I had a different one. That's not the right one. Well, it is still right. Of course, yesterday we did have some of that light snow. Actually, in some spots, it wasn't quite that light. We saw as much as, I think, like an inch, 1.8 inches in, oh, where was it? In Wilmington yesterday. So, okay. So I still had that. I want to look at how much snow it ended up being yesterday. Oh gosh, at CVG it was only 1/10. Geez, I thought it was more than that. I live like as the crow flies close to CVG, and I thought I had more than that. But anyways, okay, so let's look ahead. Let me go back here. Okay, so recently when we've had snow, especially yesterday, I think it seems like every snowstorm that we've had in the recent history, initially when that snow falls, the ground is very warm, it melts, it doesn't cause any kind of major travel troubles. This is going to be very different tomorrow because, of course, today is very cold, today is below freezing, so those surfaces will drop below freezing. And so pretty much all of the snow that falls is going to stick to those untreated surfaces. We've already talked to all of the road crews. They've, of course, sent communications to us as well. We know that they're going to be out and about tackling this, salting the roads, plowing the roads, whatever it may be that they need to do. However, there comes a point where that snow is falling so fast that it just is impossible to keep up with it with the amount of plows that they have. I mean, you would have to like literally do like one after the next because it's going to be so heavy. During that time, that's especially when you just want to stay off the roads. I would say that's anywhere from Sunday evening through Monday morning is when we could have kind of the heaviest of the snow. So will be heavy at times, significant icing in some areas. We really think this significant ice is going to be south of the 71-75 split, maybe even further south than that. The trend is to kind of push that south. But across the bulk of the viewing area, the midsection of the viewing area, and I'll show you that in map form as well, 7 to 11 inches. So that's kind of the average total that we're looking at. A lot of snow. I mean, even if it's 5 inches, which is what we initially had, still a lot of snow. You're still looking at major impacts. Since that graphic was not the right one. Okay. So just a reminder, the winter storm watch has been upgraded to a winter storm warning, basically meaning that confidence is increasing from the National Weather Service for this system. Actually, let me read you the wording. So it goes until midnight. So basically Monday night, Tuesday morning, midnight Tuesday technically. And they upgraded this. Looks like they actually upgraded it about 4 a.m. So it goes from 10 o'clock Sunday morning until midnight on a Monday night. They're saying heavy mixed precipitation expected, total snow and sleet between 5 and 9 inches, ice up to 1/10 of an inch. We've increased both of those since this was put out. Travel could be very difficult. And then it mentions like if you do have to be out and about, what to keep with you as far as like to supplies in your car, that kind of thing. So Yeah, I mean, the thing is at this point, people say, well, could it shift? Yes, it could shift, but it would have to take a major shift for us to get, little to no amounts of snow. So at this point, just count on heavy snow. So this is the actual system, and you can see kind of the center of it is actually way off to the northwest in Montana, but this is all going to slide off to the south and southeast and bring us plenty of moisture tomorrow and into the day on Monday. Current temperatures are in the teens and 20s. It is cold outside. It feels colder than that. I'll show you wind chill next, but 19 in Middletown and Lebanon, 22 at Lunken, 21 in Harrison. This is the coldest day we've had in a long time. Actually, I just put away the climate. I bet this is the coldest day that we've had since January, like 21st or 22nd, definitely before Christmas. See when we had temperature, because we did have a couple cold snaps there in December. It was 23 on the 21st. We were colder than that today. We were in might be the coldest since December 12th. That's when we were at 12 degrees. Or I'm sorry, 19 degrees. What was the low this morning? Okay. So yes, it was a very cold day. I'm trying to see. Maybe the coldest since December 6th. Whew. I don't have the official. Oh, CVG was 15. So yeah, the coldest day since December 6th. Wow. That's impressive. Hi, John, Becky. Hello, Carrie, and thank you. Oh, Carrie Perry, thank you. Okay. So I told you we were going to look at wind chill. Let's get back on track, Ashley. Hello, Susan, Roger. We have Macedonia. Okay. Yeah, so Matt says he's seen many different totals for snow. Do you have a better estimate? Yes. So again, we're going with 7 to 11 inches across the midsection of the viewing area. I'll show you that map. I'll show you that map after this because I know a lot of you, that's really the only reason that you're here. It will start snowing at about, say, 8 a.m. tomorrow, but the accumulation doesn't start until about 11 a.m., maybe even noon. The icing is overnight. The icing is from about 10 p.m. Sunday until about 5 a.m. Monday. Back roads will be tricky, Jessica, because I think you're going to still have to focus on main roads through Monday morning. So they won't even be able to get to those back roads for a long time. Okay. Some people sound excited. Okay, so yeah, so wind chills are in the single digits. That's what I was mentioning earlier. Okay, I'm going to do this a little unconventional because, again, I know a lot of you just want to see those totals. So we're going to look at the totals, and then we'll go back to the timing just because I know that that's what a lot of people are focused on. So that's no problem. So this line is where we think that we'll see freezing rain and possibly some icy mixture of some sleet, freezing rain, ice pellets, that type of thing. While everybody could see some sleet mixing in, that's what it says up here, we really think that this is where it's going to be more of an icy kind of problem, if you will. I think that this could be higher to like between 1/10 and 1/4 of an inch of that like frozen mixture. And then these are the snowfall totals. So you go north of the viewing area, closer to the Dayton area, you're 2 to 5 inches, kind of our northern portions in northern Butler, Warren, Clinton counties, Fayette, Union, Franklin, Decatur counties, 4 to 8 inches, 7 to 11 inches in this midsection of the viewing area where those totals could be, of course, very, very impactful. You go south of that, you get the ice and the snow, 4 to 6 inches of snow, and then that significant icing as well. And by the way, this area south, so parts of Kentucky and Tennessee are looking at a significant ice event. Actually, let me show you that. These are the ice accumulations from, I believe, our in-house model. And for us, again, it's only really showing about 1/10 of an inch, but let me see if I can zoom this out. they're looking at significant ice. I mean, this is all the areas that are going to see an icy accumulation. It goes pretty far to the west, actually. Parts of Kansas. But yes, it continues into Kentucky, maybe even into Tennessee. They're seeing some of that ice as well. So if you're traveling or you know somebody in that area, something to be aware of. Okay, let's get back to here, we'll get to the threats. Okay, so this is the threat timeline, and basically what we're saying here is that from 11 a.m. you start to see those impacts. Now, while the snow could start before 11 a.m., we just don't think it's going to have an impact on the roads until then. And then it continues through the evening hours. That's when travel could be impacted. That's when we are looking at, of course, kind of that those slick roads, especially untreated surfaces, low visibility at times. But even after that, from 6 p.m., and this is what I've been saying, the 24-hour window would be from about noon Sunday to noon on Monday. But then once we kind of dig into those details, Sunday evening through Monday morning is when you see some of that ice mixing in. I think that's when the snow is the heaviest, the freezing rain, the sleet, whatever it may be. I think that's when precipitation is the heaviest. Visibility could be the lowest, and you're already looking at those totals just kind of piling on top of each other. And then Monday, you're looking at blowing and drifting snow. Refreeze will be possible not only Monday, but into much of next week because it's downright cold. Overnight lows are in the single digits, highs are in the teens and 20s. So it's going to be a very cold week ahead as well. Now, if we look at that hourly forecast, I'm going to take this full for you so that you can see when we expect that precipitation. Today is dry. Today we'll see some sunshine. It's cold though. Highs only in the 20s. And then tomorrow, here's when that snow starts to move in. 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, we're already seeing some snow. It completely covers the region. By 5 p.m., everybody has that snow. And again, you notice that the further south you go, we kind of have those deeper blue colors, darker blue. That's heavier snowfall. And also, that's where the snow is kind of moving in from. It's kind of going to be starting in the south and then heading north. So that's why those totals will be higher as well. Then the ice mixes in during the overnight hours into Monday morning, but snow continues for many of us until Monday afternoon. So it's almost as if it snows that entire time. In other words, you don't see much dry time at all. You're looking at, again, about 24 hours of precipitation. So that's a lot of snow. That's a lot of time for snow to fall in a short window. Relatively short window. Okay, so I already showed you our snowfall totals. Now I'm going to show you the different models, and this is why, again, it's so difficult to forecast for these systems. And I know that sounds like an excuse, but it's really just kind of the truth. Okay, we're going to go through all of the different models. We'll go to Monday afternoon. This is the European model. And notice that it has totals even higher than what we're saying. This is the American model, and totals are lower, but they're still very high. So again, this is why our forecast is so high, because these models are even higher. I mean, our forecast is really kind of on the conservative end. This model, this is our in-house model. This is what we call the graph. This is looking at, again, kind of right around, this is actually pretty cohesive, about 8 to 12 inches. And then I think, see, the North American model is very similar. Oh, is this the North American model? Oh, it's not. That would be why. I was like, oh, wow, that looks really similar. That's because it's mislabeled in the system. So hold on. Okay. So very high. That's the North American model. That's kind of typical of that, showing some really, really high. The other thing is this one brings higher totals north, lower totals to the south, and we don't technically agree with that. We just agree that in the central portions of the area is where we'll see the higher totals. And then I don't think that this one will work. This is too far out. Oh, but it does work pretty far out. This is the high resolution rapid refresh. And it is showing, 9 to 19 inches of snow. So the only reason that I show you that is because to kind of give you an inside look at how we kind of make this forecast. We look at all of those models and more. We look at kind of an ensemble model, which takes all of those and many more and kind of combines them all and gives an average. And they're all over the place, but all of the models are coming into better agreement that this is going to be a major snow system. And that's when we kind of start to, that's why the National Weather Service upgraded the watch to a warning. That's when we really start to pay attention to it as well. Ready for our kids to have a good snow. Thank you, Molly. It's my Bengals top because it has orange and black. Sure. I mean, Amanda says we will see. I agree. I mean, that's true, Roger. That's the thing. They're all kind of very close together. There's not one that's like out to lunch, as we say, where it's like so much different than any of the others. But they are all very high. Now, one reason why maybe our forecast, and I do think that most of the other responsible meteorologists in the area are also a little bit on the conservative side, but it's because when we see these totals, like what some of the models are outputting, we tell ourselves there's no way this is going to happen. It's never happened in Cincinnati before. But then, you know, now that we're 24 hours out or even less in some locations, you really kind of get a better idea of that. And so our confidence is increasing. So I wanted to briefly, and I know people are really focused on, of course, more focused on what's going to happen tomorrow, but I just wanted to briefly show you next week. So this is beyond the storm system Sunday and Monday. It actually stays dry until perhaps next Friday, and then we see another storm system in the area, but it is very, very cold. You'll see that here. Oh, I already showed you the icy accumulation. We'll run through that again. But we do see very cold weather on the 7-day forecast too, so it's going to be very difficult for any of this snow to melt off. You see Sunday and Monday, of course, those first alert weather days. We're going to have to count on some of that sunshine or, of course, the salt melt to melt away some of that snow because the temperatures do not warm above freezing on the 7-day forecast at all. We see more snow on the way Friday, way too soon to tell totals on that. But then even when we go beyond the 7-day forecast, we're sticking with some very cold weather. We still only see 1 or 2 days near freezing. So even into the middle of January, it's looking very cold. A lot of you are saying you want to see the snow. Who is that? Thomas, I would assume so. I would assume that a lot of these, what am I trying to say? Like emergency management, a lot of these city officials, and they will be declaring kind of those emergencies to stay off the roads. I wanted to show this. Hopefully this is timed up right. I haven't looked at this yet today, but kind of a wider view of the totals. And if you were with me last week, see, this is including what we get next Friday. So let's go back to, there we go. If you were with me last week, these totals were so different. I think we had 20 inches and St. Louis had like 14 inches. And so obviously most of the models have come down and adjusted quite a bit. So it's just kind of the evolution of the system. And it's a large area that's under this winter storm warning. Let's look at that too. Okay. Yeah, Columbus, Ohio won't get as much as us. North of I-70, it's a lot less for sure. I don't think it'll be that bad around 1 tomorrow, Scott is asking. But yes, but I think tomorrow night is when it does deteriorate quite a bit. I see the most ice occurring south of the 71-75 split in northern Kentucky. Power outages will be very possible. Now, the winds don't really pick up until Monday and Tuesday. So, because the problem with the power outages is that when the winds are calm, it allows that ice or snow to collect on the line pretty easily. Now, when that line is moving, it's not as easy. When it's windy, it kind of allows that ice and snow to be blown off of the line. So I think Sunday night, as that ice is coming and the winds aren't that high yet, that could really be a problem for power outages. Once those winds do start to pick up into Monday, then you're looking at now you already have that ice collected on the line. It's kind of too late. So I do think power outages will be a problem. But yes, south of the 71-75 split, it's much, much worse. That's for sure. Okay, I wanted to show how wide this warning is. And I think that this might be an ice warning. What is this? The deep purple. Yeah, ice storm warning. So this light purple is a winter weather advisory. This is the winter storm warning. This is the ice warning, and then it goes back to an advisory. So western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southeastern parts of southern Missouri, I guess, a little bit of southeastern Missouri included in that ice warning. All the way from Kansas, Nebraska, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio included in the winter storm warning, where those totals will be significant. So for those that are going to the Bengals game tonight, or you know somebody that's already there maybe, if they're traveling back from Pittsburgh tomorrow, if they're traveling back tonight, no problem, they'll just be tired. But if they're traveling back tomorrow, just hit the roads early. I would say by 3-4 p.m., we're starting to see slick roads. I think initially, that it'll be enough that it's light enough that it's not going to be a big deal. But I think by, once you add those hours up, you add those snowfall totals up, that's when it starts to become a problem. So again, like 3-4 p.m., I would try to plan to be at home by then. Okay. I'm going to go through the hourly forecast one more time, and then I have to get to other duties. And I think I've answered your question. Yeah, so it doesn't include Georgia. So I answered that for Cheryl. Okay. Let's look at this hourly forecast. Thank you guys so much for all the questions. Very helpful for you guys to ask these questions, so we know, kind of what we're missing or what you guys are curious about. Okay, so here's this hourly forecast. So this is from a different model than what I showed you earlier, and it brings the snow in earlier. Now, just because you're seeing some snow there at 5-6 a.m. doesn't mean the roads will be problematic. I think we really have to wait until later in the afternoon to see those roads kind of have any kind of impact. So here's 1-2 p.m. Again, after midnight, we start to see some of that mixing. This particular model, I think, overdoes the mixing a bit, and it continues it into Monday morning. I think the mixing is done before. I don't think it's as far north as what this model is showing, is what I should say. And then I mentioned the winds. Let's look at that. Yeah, see, tomorrow it's actually pretty calm when the snow starts, only about 10 miles per hour. Then the winds do pick up overnight. And you're looking at a really cold feeling in the air. Those wind chills are going to be very low tomorrow for sure. Or I'm sorry, not tomorrow, on Monday. Yeah, let's look at wind chills. Thank you, Jeremy. Angela, thank you. You're welcome. Okay, so yeah, let's look at wind chill, sorry. Let me go, I'm like going forward, back. Okay. So today, wind chills stay in the teens. Tomorrow, not bad. Tomorrow, it doesn't really get windy until the evening hours. Then the wind chill drops down into the teens, single digits by Monday morning. So that's what it's going to feel like Monday morning, teens and single digits with the snow still falling. And then throughout the day, Monday, it actually gets very windy. And that's why those wind chills kind of stay in the teens, even though the temperatures are climbing. And then Tuesday morning, look at that. By Tuesday morning, we're looking at wind chills that will be below zero. So next week is very cold, the actual temperatures and the wind chill. It's going to be quite cold. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Okay, let me go through. Yeah, even a little bit of ice can be a big problem. So even though we're only looking at 1/10 of an inch, that's definitely enough to cause problems. Okay, so 7-day forecast. Let's look at this again. Temperatures remain in the 20s. Sunday and Monday are first alert weather days. Very blustery Monday. Windy conditions continue Tuesday. That's why it'll feel like it's below zero Tuesday morning, and then it stays cold all week. So you have to think, if we get, even 5, 6, 7 inches of snow, it's going to stay with us for a while because it's so cold throughout the week. We just don't see a lot of that melting. Okay, so I'm going to update the website again as well. So if you want to check back there in a bit, yeah. Scott, I am definitely planning on some treadmill runs for sure, unfortunately, because I don't love the treadmill, but I'm not messing with this, that's for sure. Anyways, thank you guys so much for joining me. We will have another update for you. Again, I will have an update online here in just a bit, and then we'll have an update later this afternoon. Ethan Emery will have your streaming show at 6, and then we've got you covered all day tomorrow as well. So everybody have a good day today. Today is the day to prepare. Today is the day to get out, run those errands, because you'll want to stay at home most of Sunday and Monday. All right, I'll be talking to you soon. Goodbye.